Well, as sad as Lincoln's assassination was last week, at least we get a consolation prize of we got Booth. We eye for an eye. We got him. Hopefully that means the war's over. Probably not. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I am Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is my very best friend, Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, this week's news it does improve, and then it horribly takes a turn right at the end. But we'll get there. Mixed bag.
We're done, though.
The war's... Yes, another army is going to surrender. Johnny, another army is going to surrender. Officially,
how many do they got left? They can't. Do they got their navy still to surrender? They still got a boat somewhere.
They do have a boat. That's
we're waiting on Jeb to surrender in the swamps of Louisiana somewhere.
Yeah,
some freaking alligator boat.
Kind of, yeah. This week's going to open up on the 21st with Lincoln's body starting a long train ride to Springfield, Illinois. The plan is to stop and have public viewings along the way, which is a little bit morbid, in a fucking glass box so people can come and look at them.
I'm not saying, look, okay, that's a type of thing that people who are dictators, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying Lincoln was a dictator. I'm just saying right now he is quacking
quite a bit.
Like a duck.
Yeah, he's quacking like a duck. Johnny, John Mosby, the Confederate raider and murderer and rapist and pillager and just all around. Keep in mind, not officially a member of any Confederate armed forces. He is just a guerrilla fighter. He is going to disband his Confederate raiders which probably wise.
His gang of thugs?
Yeah, he's disbanding his gang of thugs, which is wise because I don't think you're going to have the opportunity to surrender, and you are probably all wanted for murder in a lot of places.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad that we will have consequences for them.
Johnny, the 22nd, we're going to see federal forces occupying Talladega, Alabama, and I bet you there's going to be a race of vehicles to commemorate in Talladega this occupation of the federal government, maybe.
They got to put, they friggin' carriages around?
Carriages, yeah, going to run carriages around her circle. Why not? Yeah, maybe people will bet them. Yeah, maybe people will bet on them or something. I don't know.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And Booth and Harold...
A bunch of people just watching things turn left.
Yeah. Booth and Harold, they're going to cross the Potomac in a fishing skiff and get into Virginia. On the 23rd, Wilson's men will fight at Munford Station. Apparently, there are still those Confederates that didn't get the memo that Johnson has now surrendered all Confederate forces.
Well, that's fair. Again,
takes time.
Lieutenant, 10% of these folks can read.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And fewer than that can understand complex sentences.
Nope.
So, unless they told them very, very simply that you done fight, no more war, they're going to keep on fighting, doing whatever the hell they're doing.
Yeah, you might be right on that one, Johnny. Speaking of those of the surrender terms, Grant rejects them on the 24th. Actually yells at Sherman and says, "You didn't have the authority to do that. That's Reconstruction. Like the only thing you have the authority to do is accept Johnson's unconditional surrender. There's nothing like." You don't get to
give them any sort of term.
Yeah, you don't get to give terms to like the government officials and generals. You don't get to give terms to the rest of the armies of the Confederacy. That's not. You have 48 hours.
Okay, man.
You're going to notify the Confederates that they have 48 hours of a ceasefire, and after that, hostilities will resume unless they do the whole unconditional surrender thing.
Yeah, that was his whole, I'm not responsible for what happens sort of threat, right?
Yeah, and then he orders all U.S. generals that there is no negotiation, only unconditional surrender. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, go ahead and go yourselves.
Pretty much, yeah.
Confederates.
Johnson
you're lucky that he's giving you this.
Now, Johnson is going to receive this notification of they rejected the terms in the 48 hours of resumed hostilities. At the same time, he got the letter from Trader President Davis saying the terms were acceptable on his front, which of course the terms are acceptable on his front because, like, he's fucking government in exile running for his dear life trying not to get captured because he knows that the news might be on the way for him. So, yep, we took these backsies.
Whatever he wants.
A little Indian giver to the white man so they get a taste of their own medicine.
Well, maybe not that phrase.
It's fine. On the 25th, we're going to see federal cavalry hot on the trail of Booth and Harold. Johnson is going to ask to resume surrender talks with Sherman to be held on the 26th. And the 26th, Johnny, that's the big day. Early in the morning, federal troops surround a barn of Richard Garrett where Booth was believed to be held. Garrett is refusing to cooperate with the federal forces. He says, nobody's in that barn. There's nobody there. Now, Garrett's son goes, fuck that. Booth and Harold in there. Don't burn our house down. Don't murder us. Fuck my dad. I don't give a shit what he's doing. I don't want to support him. That's they're in the barn. Go do what you need to do. Federal authorities surround the barn. They demand the surrender.
What did they decide they needed to do?
They surround the barn. They demand the surrender. Harold comes out immediately with his hands up, and he said, "Fuck this! I ain't dying." At least right away for this fucker. And then Booth starts, grandstanding, doing his overacting, fucking doing a monologue, not leaving the barn, yelling at the federal forces.
Was it any good?
No,
Did the critics say?
They say it was dog shit. So the federal forces set fire to the barn.
That's editorializing.
Yeah. Burn the barn down. Shot's going to be fired.
Oh.
While the barn is on fire, Booth's still not coming out. A shot's going to be fired, hitting Booth in the barn. That bullet actually strikes his spinal cord, and he is now paralyzed. They go in, grab his body, drag his ass out of the barn, and there he is. He's, I don't know. He dies at like 7 a.m.
Okay.
Johnson, Grant, and Sherman.
And nothing of value was lost.
Nope.
Like, what do we?
No.
Okay. Except for that barn, which was probably valuable. They
that
burned
barn
that
was
shit
valuable,
down.
Yeah,
But they don't see a penny for that.
No, but that's fine because like the fucking owner of the barn was like, "There's nobody in there. We're not harboring."
Yeah. So fuck that guy's
Lincoln.
kids and wife because he made a bad decision. So that whole family gets to fucking suffer.
Well, we didn't burn the house down. It's fine. Johnson, Sherman, and Grant all agree on Johnson's surrender. Terms are all arms and public property are going to be deposited by the Confederates at Greensboro to the federal government. Troops are beginning given their parole pledge, and arrangements are made for transportation for the troops to go home. Basically, it's the exact same thing Grant gave Lee, which is the exact fucking same thing that Sherman did 2 days last week. It's the same, other than it doesn't incorporate other Confederate armies or like other generals and Confederate government officials, but still, why? It seems like Grant's splitting hairs just to split hairs at this point. Sure.
All right, yeah.
Oh well, Johnny, and this week's gonna end.
Just end it. I don't give a shit what happened. Just we're done, right?
So so good news. Confederate army surrender. Reconstruction. Yeah.
I mean, God, for crying out loud, the big guy died.
Yeah. I mean, we're there. Yeah. Our big guy died.
Our dictator and savior.
He did.
Abraham Christ died.
Yeah.
So now what?
Abraham Christ Lincoln. Yeah. I don't know.
Is he back? Did he rise?
Maybe. Did he rise? You said Abraham Christ.
Is he going to hunt vampires or something, or zombies or something?
Zombifies and comes back to life at this point. Jesus. Johnny, and on the good note of Booth dying, and on the good note of Johnson's army surrendering, we have a fucking disaster at the end of the week. After surviving Confederate prison camps and the fucking war, hundreds of paroled federal troops are making their way home. They get on the steam riverboat, the Sultana. It is overcrowded because everybody's trying to get passage home, plus the normal, civilian people that are on the boat trying to get passage as well. It has old, dilapidated boilers that are not up to code and inspection.
I don't want to hear the rest of this.
And those
I'm done.
boilers are
No,
going to
it's very interesting, but
explode.
I'm not interested. Thank you.
On the 27th, sending passengers and soldiers flying. Some would make it to shore, the rest would drown or die in the explosion. Of the 2,021 passengers, 1,238 are going to die. And that number is based off the official passenger registry, which is not up to date because a lot of people were on that boat.
You just
Didn't
like
sign
do
the
like this or
logbook.
something when you're done. Cause
I gotcha, yeah. The boat was over capacity, and most estimates have the deaths at 1,900, not
happened.
12. That's it this week in Civil War in Hindsight. If you're enjoying Civil War in Hindsight, check out Historic Hindsight. We do all kinds of fun things. We got long format videos and all kinds of odd historical things you probably didn't know about. We got short videos on all kinds of things that you probably didn't know about, and me ranting and raving and getting mad at people. Thing that I do. Don't worry about my blood pressure. It has always been this high, and I haven't died yet. Check out our Patreon that I always forget to mention. It's a thing that exists. We do behind-the-scenes content. Me and Johnny are about ready to drink some more of these brewskis and talk about random things. Check us out.